In this section, we're going to talk about top-down and bottom-up methodologies for healing complex PTSD. Let's start with top-down methodologies which focus predominantly on the mind. So these are methods like traditional talk therapy or cognitive behavioral therapy, dialect behavioral therapy, those types of things. The issue with top-down methodologies is that they only solve one part of a three-part problem. You may be able to change the negative thought pattern or behavior or belief in your mind, but if you have trauma stored in your body, in your brain, this is just a Band-Aid. All right, so let's talk about bottom-up methodologies. What does this mean? That means you're going from your body to your brain to your mind. These are more effective because your body is like the soil for your brain, and your brain is like the soil for your mind. So trauma creates a toxic wasteland in the soil of your body, which then inflames your brain, and when your brain is inflamed, it inflames your mind, and so the symptoms like anxiety, stress, depression, memory loss, brain fog, all the symptoms that we talk about in relation to complex PTSD arise bottom up. So by focusing on bottom-up methodologies to heal the body first, you can fertilize and heal the soil of your body, which will then rejuvenate your brain, which will then heal your mind in all of the symptoms and issues that pop up in relation to complex PTSD. Methodologies like internal family systems, somatic experiencing, trauma yoga are all great examples of bottom-up methodologies that help you release emotions stored in your bodies and then help you reprocess and reprogram those body messages to heal the trauma that's stored there. I use internal family systems personally because it is a blended approach of bottom-up and top-down, which allows you to process the emotions that are coming up from the trauma while also talking to different parts of your subconscious mind that were created in these traumatic moments. All right, so now that we know to go bottom up, where do you even start? The first step that I suggest for all of my clients is something called the hero's body. Let's break that down. The hero's body is a collection of simple habits, patterns, and routines that can allow you to fertilize the soil of your body so that you are prepared to do the work you need to do to release these emotional burdens that are stored in your body. There are 6 parts of the hero's body: something for your mind, exercise, sleep, nutrition, social connection, and play. The first section is the mind. So this is doing one thing for your mind every single day. This is where the Mendy headset has been a game changer for my team, my clients, and myself. By using this just one time per day, you can train your prefrontal cortex to increase blood flow to the area of your brain that is shut off during trauma. We talked about this earlier. This is why this is such a powerful tool in relation to healing complex PTSD. If you don't have a Mendy yet, that's completely okay. You can still build this habit in this section of the hero's body by doing things like meditation, mindfulness, gratitude. Generally, I try to shoot for at least 5 to 10 minutes for each of these habits daily. Next up is sleep. This is arguably the most important section of the hero's body in relation to healing complex PTSD. This is because sleep is when your body and brain clear out inflammation, literally washing your brain with fluid to clear out the debris of this trauma. Generally, it is best to be able to get 7 to 9 hours of sleep. However, in relation to complex PTSD, I've seen people sleep 10, 11, 12 hours sometimes as they are in the thick of healing what's going on in their nervous system. There's a couple of ways to beat this. The first is a regular sleep-wake cycle, meaning you go to bed and wake up at the same time every single day. This is weekdays and weekends. The next thing is having a night routine. I see this so much. People careen into sleep. This is like a train trying to just jam itself into a train station without braking a couple miles before. Trains generally are hitting the brakes miles before they try to get to the train station. Why would you not do the same thing with your brain in relation to sleep? So having a night routine that you love, that's 90 minutes, maybe an hour before bed, can help your brain pump the brakes so that it's actually coming to a full stop by the time you get to bed, as opposed to careening into bed and having all these racing thoughts before you try to sleep. Some other things that can be really beneficial for improving your sleep quality is viewing sunlight in the morning. This resets your melatonin clock and allows melatonin to release more evenly and more effectively throughout the day, and especially at nighttime when you want melatonin at its highest. The second thing is the chronotype quiz. This is free online. I don't know why anyone would do this. Sleepdoctor.com, and you can get your chronotype. There's 4 of them: lions, bears, wolves, and dolphins. Once you understand your chronotype, you'll start to understand, when should I go to sleep? When should I wake up? When should I eat a snack? And it helps you understand your personal circadian rhythm, which will allow you to understand your sleep hygiene far more effectively. Highly recommend it. All right, next up is nutrition. This is an extraordinarily in-depth and complex thing for everyone. Everybody's unique and different. However, there are some basics that can apply to everybody. First of all, limiting sugar intake, processed foods, and decreasing your alcohol intake is a great way to decrease inflammation in your brain and body. The next thing I suggest for everybody is to get on an omega-3 supplement. This is one of the most well-studied and researched supplements on earth. It has been shown to decrease overall inflammation in your body and your brain. Obviously, before putting any new supplement into your regimen, consult your doctor first. Okay, next up is exercise. This releases BDNF, or brain-derived neurotrophic factor, into your blood. This is like Miracle-Gro for your brain. It increases neurogenesis, increases attention, memory, focus. So many great things come from BDNF. Mixing up different types of exercises like weight training, high-intensity interval training, and longer cardio is the most ideal thing that you can do. An easy way to know if you're getting good exercise is using your heart. We all have one, and it's unique to everybody. So if your heart is beating at a rate that it's hard for you to have an easy conversation with someone, you're doing a pretty good amount of exercise. Also, there's no reason exercise has to suck. Playing sports, hiking, these are all really fun ways that you can get some exercise in. And if you're not exercising at all today, start with one tiny thing. Can you do one push-up, one sit-up? It doesn't have to be big, but it can start the journey towards an exercise habit and routine. Next up is social connection. Our brains are wired very deeply to care and connect for one another. This is why I was not surprised that anxiety and depression rates went up 300% after COVID. Isolation does a number on the brain. Social connection can come in many forms. It could be a networking event, FaceTiming with a family member, or even volunteering. This is a secret weapon in social connection when I'm working with people, is volunteering. Because if you are going to volunteer at a place, you can bet that the other people volunteering probably have similar values to you, and you're getting to do things next to them. So it's an easy way for you to collide with someone in a fun, easy way, and you can become a friend with them, not just socially connect with them. So whatever you pick, try to shoot for 2 to 3 socially connecting type activities a week. Last but absolutely not least is play. This is one of the most forgotten about perspectives and parts of adults' lives. I like to say adults are just kids wearing a costume. When was the last time you took off the costume? When did you ask yourself last, am I having fun? Do I actually enjoy my life? Sadly, most adults answer no to this. So what can you do about this? Tapping into that inner kid. I have found that there are play type quizzes that you can take that will help you understand what your play type is, especially for adults who are trying to figure out what play even means yet again. For example, I am a competitor play type. So I love games that have winners and losers, whether it's hide and seek, basketball, or board game, doesn't matter. If there's a winner, a loser, and a scoreboard, I'm happy. Maybe for you it's dancing, singing, coloring, collecting. There are tons of different ways that you can play. What is it for you? Figure that out and then create a habit around it. Shoot for 2 to 3 times where you get to truly play per week. When I say truly play, I mean judgment-free time where you can do whatever the hell you want and just have fun and be free in that time slot. With this baseline of the hero's body, your body will be well on its way to releasing trauma from inside of it. Some other great bottom-up methodologies that I love is trauma yoga and somatic experiences. Both of these things, when done with a trained professional, can help you release those pent-up emotions inside of your muscles. The number one tool that I like to use for this is something called internal family systems. This is a form of psychotherapy that's half bottom-up and half top-down, which is why I love it. Now that we have this baseline of these bottom-up methodologies set, we're ready to start talking about top-down methodologies and working in the mind more. Thank you guys so much for joining me in this series. Healing trauma is a long process, but it is absolutely possible and very much worthwhile to start the process. Remember, it's not about being perfect. It's about connecting with your true self and what feels right to you. I hope this series inspires you to start your own healing journey. And if no one has told you recently, I am proud of you. You matter. Good luck.